And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional. He is Tim Stearns, CFP, founder of TJ Stearns, Inc., giving us proactive advice on what we need to be doing with our money, our investments, our retirement accounts in order to achieve and accomplish financial freedom. Tim, we always appreciate you here on the program. Confidence into and throughout our financial future seems like a hard goal to obtain, but you talk about what we need to be doing each and every week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that if I'm going to be retiring, or even if I am retired, there's stuff that we need to cover to make us sleep better at night. I mean, the world's kind of a little bit in turmoil with everything going on overseas, even things going on in the great United States of America. So, I mean, it's kind of, we're right around that time when it's 4th of July. So we have a lot to be thankful for, but we have a lot to be cautious for too. So that's where we're going to dive into that.
Yeah, well, we have talked recently about financial goals, retirement income planning goals, Social Security goals, 401ks, what's going on in Washington. But ultimately, the goal with the money probably is to not have to worry about it, right? To be able to live our life, to center our life around our values and not constantly worry about the value that day of the stock market. But that takes a type of confidence in the plan that we have, right, Tim?
You have to have confidence in your plan, but here's what I'm running into. People are coming in here without a plan. They have an idea, or they know that they've accumulated money and how they did that. So much in stocks, so much in bonds, not a lot in uncorrelated assets. Got beat up in 2022, made some money in 2021, and now in 2023, they're about where they were 3 years ago. So we're looking at the fact that, if you have a plan, and you're going into retirement, if you had those 3 years where you're stagnating and not doing anything, if you're in retirement, you're going to be pulling money out of there and you'll be a net seller of assets. So one of the things we're trying to explain to people is, if you have an income allocation plan, when the market's diving down like that and having a bear moment, we can actually not worry about it because we have a plan on how to pay the bills for a while till that market recovers.
Right here around Independence Day, but maybe the true holiday, the true celebration is retirement and financial independence. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to have a plan for that. And that's why Tim Stearns, CFP, and the team from TJ Stearns, Inc. offer to put together for proactive planners and savers the Protect and Grow Written Retirement Income Plan. And if you'd like to bring all the pieces of the puzzle together to take a look at how to optimize Social Security, how to minimize taxation, how to coordinate retirement income cash flow, pick up the phone and give a call. Tim, happy to speak with you, answer questions directly over the phone, but more importantly, does offer no cost, no obligation, the complimentary retirement planning strategy session. And of course, to put together that written Protect and Grow retirement income plan. 800-640-2256 is the number to call. That is 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Office conveniently located in Arlington Heights, capable of meeting you right there in person, shake hands, face-to-face, or through the ease and the convenience, of course, with technology these days, the virtual meeting is always an option, as well as online, tjstearns.com, a great place to get connected there, tjstearns.com. And Tim, financial freedom and confidence is something that you also discuss and talk a lot about in your retirement classes held at universities throughout the Chicagoland area.
That's right, Peter. We do a lot of retirement workshops. We just did one last week. It was over 40 people. It seems like people are very thirsty to know what is going on with their finances and to get that leg up so that they can sleep better at night. And I would tell anyone to give us a call. We'll be happy to get them into one of our classes. They can attend it virtually, like you talked about. And speaking of that, Peter, I'd also like to get the book that we wrote just in November about solving the modern retirement riddle. In that book, we cover all these things. So that if you're not able to make one of our classes, our workshops, we can get the book into your hands. But I'd like to only limit that to people who have over $500,000 worth of assets, so that we can get that book to them to kind of solve how you're going to get through a 30+ year retirement. And that's really doable. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I won't be that retired that long. Well, if you are married, there's a 50% chance one of you will do that. So that's why we're reaching out to people to spread the word.
Well, if you would like a copy of Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, some of the strategies described do work best for those with over 500,000 of saved, invested retirement assets. So this book is for you. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Call now because those 10 copies will not last. Now, Tim, you, the team there at TJ Stearns Inc., you do want to provide information to help and assist anyone in making that financial progress. But again, some of the strategies in that book are specifically for those that have been more serious and done the investing along the way. 500,000 or above, this book is certainly for you. The strategies, the issues, the risks discussed, and the opportunities that are uncovered in that book to solve that modern retirement riddle certainly will be eye-opening for you in building that confident retirement. So give a call now, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, financial confidence is quality of life in retirement, right? I mean, when we have the confidence in the plan and in the money, then we can live the life that we dreamed of and envisioned.
Yeah, and I mean the bottom line is having an actual retirement plan instead of having something on the back of a napkin, the envelope, whatever analogy you want to use. It makes people sleep better at night. And with that comes us analyzing to make sure that their investments are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think a lot of people don't realize what they're getting is what, what they're paying for is what they're getting. And that is, having stocks that just kind of for the last 3 years have done nothing for them just because of the year 2022. So we are telling people, look for hedges, look for stop losses, look for something that you can protect yourself. You wear a seatbelt when you're driving a car. Let's use this analogy, and your portfolio should be protected too from losing its value. And I mean, if I'm 70 something years old and I lose 22% of my portfolio, which is the average we've seen from 2022 when people are coming in here, if I lose that, and in addition I'm taking money out, I'm going to be down a heck of a lot more than 22%. So we're trying to avoid that for people. As you always say, smart people learn from their mistakes, geniuses learn from other people. Well, let's learn from our past mistakes. We kind of have a do-over right now, right? The market's on fire, we say, right? It's doing so well. But is it? NVIDIA is kind of carrying the torch, and you need to be careful that, you're not just in one stock trying to play the blackjack table of gambling in stocks.
Yep. Well, I think that we want that financial confidence. We strive for it. We work hard, we save, we invest, we take risks to achieve it. We put protections in place to ensure it. But yet the American public, Tim, is increasingly less confident in their financial well-being, their lasting stability, and that financial independence. Studies and articles are showing that the prospects and the optimism about the future is decreasing as time moves on. And that's as a wave of baby boomers increasingly enters into retirement. So I guess the rhetorical question is, if the way that most people were doing things really was the way, if it really worked so effectively, why are we seeing such a lack of confidence?
Well, if you remember about 2 weeks ago, we on the show, we talked about how 4% of retirees are living the dream. So what is going on with the other 96%? And I think that begs the question, how are they getting through retirement? Are they doing it on a wing and a prayer? Because that's not how you should do anything, right? If you're building a house, you're going to have a blueprint. You're going to follow that blueprint. You're going to have diversions and things where you have to change a little something. But at the end of the day, you have a plan. Going into retirement without a plan is so scary to me. The people that they haven't taken into effect the taxes, market volatility, longevity risk, we've talked about this before, but there's a lot of things you could be doing right now to remedy some of these tax bills that people are getting. And that reminds me, if you don't mind, I'm going to mention www.mvp, like most valuable player, CFP, like certified financial planner.com is a great website that you can put your information in there and give us how much money that you have in IRAs, qualified money, 401ks, and that type of thing, and see what that bill looks like. And that will give, if that doesn't get you off the couch to move and give us a call, I don't know what would.
Yeah, the difference is astounding.
Staggering.
Quite, yeah, it really is amazing, eye-opening when you look at what that likely tax bill on your IRA, your 401k, your retirement savings projects out to be, ladies and gentlemen, and then contrast that with if you do identify the strategies, be proactive, be more efficient and effective throughout retirement, and realize the opportunities that we have available to us today, but that are not guaranteed to be available forever, then you will see a side-by-side comparison of what those numbers look like, and can judge for yourself whether or not it's worth it to pursue and find out a little bit more. So that is MVPCFP.com, MVPCFP.com, the retirement tax bill calculator. And Tim, being efficient and effective with taxes is as effective as shooting for higher returns, but generally carries with it far, far less risk.
I agree with you, Peter, because I mean, if you know that the tax bill's out there, why wouldn't you try to get ahead of it? I mean, if you go somewhere to buy a car, you know exactly what's entailed there, right? You know how much the taxes are going to be, how much the car is. And so I heard an analogy the other day, and I like this. Basically, think about this. It's as if retirement is like we're buying a house, and we're going to get a mortgage. And right now, if I got a mortgage, it'd be, let's say a 30-year mortgage is around 7%, we'll say. All right. If I hold that to the end of 30 years, we know what my rate will be. It'll be 7%. But us, on the other hand, we're putting money, stockpiling it into these 401ks. And at the end of the road, they're going to let us know what the taxes, what our rate will be. Does that sound like a good deal for anyone?
Right.
No.
They can adjust that mortgage payment and rate at any point they want down the road.
Right. So why don't you right now, for this year and next year, at least do the exercise of looking at, there's a chance here for Roth conversions. We have income taxes. They're the lowest they've been in 40 years. And before that was the 1920s. So why wouldn't you at least explore it by going on to www.mvpcfp.com to get on there and get your plan and look what a study does to it and see, wow, those numbers are staggering and I need to make a change.
MVPCFP.com. That is the website, ladies and gentlemen, MVPCFP.com. Tim, in order to achieve financial confidence and independence, we really do need to be prepared for financial risks. And oh man, are there a bunch of them into and throughout the longevity of most people's retirement.
There are so many risks. I mean, I think everyone focuses only on one risk, and that's market risk. And yes, that is part and parcel of it, but there's so many other ones that we talk about in class. We saw interest rate risk, what that did to our bonds, So, I mean, right now, if rates go down, that's actually going to help bonds. But what did most people do? They bought and held and they lost money in their bonds, So we need to be a little bit more active and involved in our own retirements to get to the finish line correctly.
Health, the market turbulence, you've already sort of discussed that. The interest rate risk, Tim, we saw that certainly in the last 3 to 4 years. Inflation, we've seen plenty of that. Sequence of returns risk, taxes you discussed, overspending by the government or on our own behalf, because we've only got a finite amount of money and an unknown amount of time we need to make that last. If we overspend, especially early on, that could be catastrophic for our retirement projections. This is why we need to address all of these things in a plan, right, Tim?
Right. I mean, think about the light switch that's going to go on for you. You're going to stop being a saver and you're going to be a spender. Your whole life, you've been hopefully nothing but a saver. And now you have to spend your money because you need to live. Social Security, when it came out, was only supposed to be 40% of our incomes. So the rest of it, we're supposed to make up with through a pension, hopefully, if you have one. But I'd say 90% of the people that call the radio show or come to our classes don't have a pension anymore. Or if they do, it's small, and they say, oh, it's so small it won't even matter. So how do I fill up that? How do I backfill it? To figure out where my money is, to make sure that I'm not taking too much risk, but I'm growing it, and that I'm going to need to spend it. And that's just going to be a whole different psyche, I think, for most listeners.
Tim, those risks I mentioned, again, our healthcare, the market, inflation, sequence, taxes, overspending, like what's the likelihood of us seeing it next year or this year, right? But over the course of a 25, 30-year retirement, what's the likelihood of us seeing each one of those things, not once, not twice, but many, many times over?
History has a way of repeating itself. And, these high interest rates, I know baby boomers out there that are used to that from the 70s. I remember that in the 80s too. So, I mean, these are these are, times that they're actually used to. It's their second runaround, you know. So how do we circumvent this? By having a plan. And I can't harp on that more. I mean, take a look at how much risk you have in your portfolio. What your portfolio did in 2022 is a great microcosm of what you're going to do over your retirement. So when do you make a change? When you have a do-over, which is right now.
And we've heard from Tom Hegna on this program before. He's a financial guru, written a couple different books. Don't Worry, Retire Happy is the one that was later featured into that PBS special. And what Tom Hegna said, Tim, was that all of those risks are multiplied by our longevity. And in fact, longevity is the risk multiplier, more serious and important to address than any of those other risks individually.
Right. And I'll go on record. My book is better. And it's
Solving the modern retirement riddle.
and we have a couple
Humble plug there. Yeah.
yeah, well, we have a couple books left, so I want to make sure that we get that out to anybody who has over $500,000 worth of assets. But back to your point is that he puts in there that the longer we are alive, the more craziness we'll see, is a summary of that thought. He has a whole paragraph on it that I read at class. That's how much I think of it. But basically, it goes like this: the longer you're alive, the more chances you might need long-term care. The market will crash, inflation, deflation, etc. So these are things that he talks about that, and it resonates. I mean, the book is outstanding when it gets into each chapter, and our book has some of that in there too. And again, it's free.
Well, if you would like a copy, pick up the phone now. Give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. When you get right down to it, Tim, it's your paycheck that equates to financial security and freedom. Your paycheck represents the core of your financial security, the progress that you can make, the ability to go out and earn this month's and next month's ability to pay bills, gives us confidence. Paycheck protection is one of those benefits that is offered at many employers: short-term disability, long-term disability, in case accidents or injuries take us out of work. That is important, but equally important is ensuring the capability of dependable income even after retirement, right?
You need to have, dependable income. Most of us don't have pensions. So, you have Social Security, and that's great. And I'm very happy for everyone. But, there might be problems with that down the road. So once again, with the Secure Act and all the different things I've seen Congress do, the onus is on us to get through retirement. You're not going to be able to go to the government and go, you know what, I didn't save enough. What am I supposed to do here? Have a little pride here and make sure that you're understanding how you're going to get through retirement. And I think the big thing would be having a actual income allocation plan. We look under every rock. We make sure that people have long-term care covered, or at least they understand that they have that risk out there. When 7 out of 10 people over the age of 60 are going to need it in some form, and 9 out of 10 of those people haven't addressed it, that's definitely going to be an issue. And we're seeing these new life insurance policies that actually have living benefits of long-term care, or they call it critical care, that could really do the job for you. Full disclosure, that's what my wife and I did. I'm not telling anyone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And that's important to make sure that you have that covered, because the chances of us having that and using it are pretty good.
Dave Ramsey, Tim, says that your paycheck is your biggest wealth building tool, your income, and likewise, rather, in retirement, your income is also your biggest wealth preserving tool. Your income earning ability, without that paycheck, most of us would not even have the ability to invest and grow money over time and take risks in the market. And if we want to preserve and protect that investment portfolio in retirement, we've got to map out how to create income from it. That's what the income plan, that protect and grow plan, is all about. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to have that put together with the help and the assistance of a certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, has made that offer. No cost, no obligation, to help you put together that protect and grow written retirement income plan. Pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, not only is that income important, the saving, obviously, the second part of that, once we earn the paycheck, we've got to dedicate some money, put it away for retirement. Unfortunately, recent surveys showed that only 41%, or that rather that 41% of Americans had nothing saved for retirement, and only 5% have more than $20,000. Now, I would venture to say that the audience listening to this program probably is on the other side of that. More than likely, I think that folks tuning into a program like this have done a reasonable job, are taking their planning and their financial future seriously. But we can't understate how underprepared most of America is for retirement.
I can state that all day long, because when the people come into my class, I'd say about 15 to 20% have a really, really good handle on it. And then the other 50%, have a kind of a good handle. And then there's people who have no clue what's going on. They're approaching in their early 60s, and they don't understand Social Security. They don't understand Medicare. They think Medicare might have, long-term care benefits in it. I mean, there's so many different things that would go into it. And I'll say this: education is power. I would tell anyone that wants the book or wants to come see us in person to come see us and get the education that you need.
Again, if you would like that complimentary retirement planning strategy session, the Protect and Grow plan, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, as you are talking with folks, do you ever ask how prepared they feel, like rate themselves and get a pulse on how confident they are feeling about their ultimate financial freedom and independence and security?
I find some of them they have false hope, that they have it under control. And then you bring out something, you start putting some dents in the armor, and they don't feel so confident anymore. And, I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade, but I am going to be a realist with them and to explain to them, hey, if you don't take care of this, look what it did to your friend, that you were telling me about. I mean, it decimated his purchasing power, it decimated his whole portfolio. And then when he was gone, his wife had nothing. So how do we get around that? I also see a lot of people coming in here going, they show me their portfolio and they've got a ton of risk. What is going on here? Well, I'm making up for lost time. I put the kids through college, and here I am now. And that's a lot of the listeners out there. And so what I say to you is, stop investing like you're 40, trying to make up for lost time, and let's get a plan together where we can actually build something that you can live on for 30 plus years.
As you are constructing these plans, Tim, can you sort of take a person from where they are now and talk about the timeline of where they want to be and say, hey, here's how much you need to save. Here's the kind of rate of return that you may need. Here's the type of investments that can generate that rate of return. Or if they turn that page already, here's how you can generate the income that you need next week, next month, next year.
Well, you bring that up, Peter, with interest rates being so high, the highest they've ever been in my 30-year career. Man, oh man, can we do things with money right now? The guarantees and that type of thing coming from these insurance companies are out of this world. Annuities get a bad name right now. I mean, they're a bedrock for how you can build your retirement. And, it's at least worth having the conversation to show people, hey, look at what can happen here. For example, the other day I had someone that I put a Roth IRA into. They put their money in there, and then it's gonna give a nice payout. And then here's the best part: if it runs out of money, it'll still pay, right? And if it runs out of money for the gentleman that I put it in, it'll pay out for his wife for her lifetime as well. Think about having a long payments that are all tax free. That you'll never outlive. I mean, that's the best of both worlds in my mind.
Well, a plan is what gives you the guidelines for building that blueprint to financial freedom and confidence. The discipline in following the plan is what achieves it. Tim Stearns is there to help you design the plan and to help hold your hand in walking through it, to hold you accountable, make sure you're doing all the things, as well as be aware of the strategies, the opportunities, and the risks that you'll face into your financial future. If you're taking your planning, your financial future and freedom seriously, you have to have that plan. It is the Protect and Grow written retirement plan. And if you'd like to get your hands on that, if you'd like it designed with the help of an experienced, qualified professional, a certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, makes that offer no cost, no obligation, and he'll throw in a copy of that book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, if you call now. Pick up the phone, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Specifically, if you want to learn how to retire or what it takes to pay less in taxes, keep more of your money, optimize Social Security, go now, tjstearns.com, or give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Get the plan in your hands to help you improve your outlook in 2024 and beyond. Tim, we always appreciate your time here on the program and the insight and information that you provide to help us achieve that financial freedom.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals or growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific